overall, what's going on in the world and in Boston, I think it's pretty much even everywhere. It's a very nervous situation, a very nervous scenario, right? So
there's large festivals and little intimate gigs being cancelled, every single day in Scotland and the rest of the world, and obviously at the moment, for May, June, July, August, September, October is the main festival season in Britain.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's cancelling, all the big stars, Guns N' Roses, they're just pulling out. Killers, by the, I was supposed to be going to Hellfest in France.
Yeah.
That's been cancelled. Wacken, in Sweden, it's crazy,
It's so devastating. I mean, they lost hundreds of thousands of dollars for like canceled tours and everything. We have a couple of festivals scheduled that.
Yeah, we're still keeping our fingers crossed for those, but worst case scenario, I'm kind of ready for the news that they're also going to be canceled.
Yeah.
So we're hoping for the best, but we're ready for the worst. Like worst case scenario, they're probably going to reschedule it for either later this year or next year.
Yeah.
We're hoping. So, it's going to happen sooner or later, but
So what are you guys doing at the moment? Are you working on any new material? Have you got stuff in the pipeline?
Yeah, definitely. We're not stopping, even though the world around us stopped completely, right? We have plenty of stuff that we can be working on and what we are working on. We just finished recording 4 new songs in the studio, literally hours or days or even hours, like before all of this pandemic unfolded.
Yeah.
When we were on the way to the studio, it was already kind of a nervous situation around the world, but we went ahead and recorded the songs. Now we're in the mixing stages.
Yeah.
There's one little thing that we're hoping to tackle today, and then it's off to mastering.
Yeah, it's like our last step.
Come out as another EP, or will it just be 4 singles on its own, or is it part of an album? What's the thought train on it?
Well, go ahead.
We plan to release them as 4 individual singles, which then can be combined together in an EP. We're thinking about releasing a vinyl, hopefully, maybe as a compilation of songs that we already previously released. So we'll see. It's very exciting. It's something that we've never done before. Those songs are very powerful in our opinion, and hopefully everybody's gonna enjoy them as well.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to the people hearing them. We strongly believe that these are our best songs to date. A couple of our previous releases have been receiving some very positive feedback from fans and from industry specialists and whatnot. But for that reason, like we really we know that these are gonna outdo the songs that we already released, so we can't wait to share them with the world.
You've done really well. Obviously, you've had lots of accolades, 2019, and obviously.
Yeah. We got some.
You've just been obviously nominated for another 6 categories this year, so it's exciting times for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we're very grateful and thankful to our fans and to our supporters. We're thankful for people, who can relate to our songs and, are sharing our art and helping us to push it forward as well.
Right, we get a lot of messages on social media, which we usually will always reply to all of those messages. We like to contact with our fans.
We like personal connection between between us and the fans. I don't even like calling them fans. I'd just say like followers or friends.
Not quite family yet, but they're getting
not there yet. But some people are getting close.
Right.
Some of them are getting very close to it.
I think the the good thing about the job that I do, I'm a music reviewer for Jace Media in London, and you know I'm reviewing probably 10 albums a day, six singles a day. What the big thing at the moment seems to be is lots of bands are doing, like, you know, isolation virtual gigs.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
30 minutes, 40 minutes, you know, and they'll do, you know, it depends if it's a band who's got 3 or 4 albums. One week they'll do this album, and you'll have 300 or 400 people tuning in, you know. And then what my boss likes me to do is he likes me to review it. So I sit and watch you guys. I don't know if you got the review that I did for your single.
I think we might have, but I'd have to double check on that.
Obviously, this is how I, you know, when I listen to stuff, you know, I've been a lover of heavy metal since I was 11 years of age. My first band was AC/DC.
Oh, nice. Yeah. We actually been to their show in Boston a couple of years ago. It was a great time.
Oh, yeah.
Great band, you know, overall.
Three of the boys grew up in Glasgow.
Yeah, nice.
Australia. And, you know, there was a world famous theatre in Glasgow called the Glasgow Apollo, where everybody who was anybody played there. It was a flea-bitten place, you know, torn seats, sticky carpet, you know, just nothing nice about it. But, you know, you go and see a band and you instantly fall in love with it. So the good thing about my job is that I hear lots of different genres of music, lots of different styles, you know, and, you know, something about your guys, your music grabbed me. And I want to just read you a little excerpt from my review, if that's okay.
Oh, please do. Yeah.
You may agree, you may disagree, you may strike me from your Facebook page.
No, we appreciate it. All kinds of feedback.
Yeah,
whatever
absolutely.
you have for us, go ahead.
Bring it on.
You can critique it and tell me if it's good or bad. So what I put in is May Leave Scars. Alternative start with synth and power drums for starters. Haunting vocals fade in and have a nice bass beat for company. Drums are pounding and on point. The riff with power edge comes in and gives the track real depth. Linkin Park-esque with real feeling and direction. Vocals are soulful and meaningful and have power chords surging throughout this high-energy up-tempo track. Very European in orientation, but with a real edge to it.
Nice.
Right on point.
Yeah, that was my, you know, I listened to the track 3 or 4 times, and I get in my head kind of what kind of feel it has, and you hear little bits of certain genres of, you know, music and stuff, and you think, yeah. And I know that you have your affiliation to Chester.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, with the foundation thing, you know, and that kind of strikes you straight away when you listen to it. It's kind of Linkin Parkish, you know, and it works really well. And, you know, I can't wait to hear, you know, what you guys come out. So whenever you get stuff, please send it to me at Jace Media.
Awesome.
I will be first to review it, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, we will. We will do that. Yeah.
I like to champion bands and stuff like that, you know, because it's good for you guys. It's good for, you know, for my website that, you know, that we are bringing on new bands, and people instantly like it. You know, they like kind of what we do and how we when we are putting a package together to do a review for you guys. You know, I do an extensive research about your albums, about the guys in the band, about what you're all about, when you started, you know what makes you tick, and then I put my slant on it, you know. And what I say to people is that it's, you know, you guys do the hard work. You go into the studio and you're there for months and months and months. You say to me, "Can you review this?" And I'll go, "Yeah," and I'll review it, and it might, you know, I might think, "My God, that's just goddamn awful," or I might think, "Wow, that's amazing." And, you know, and I say to people, I only write what I hear, and if I hear good soulful thrashing, you know, on point vocal, lyrical magic, I'll put that in my review, because I think that, you know, it resonates with the band. If I say, yeah, do you know, it was all right, and it was, you know, it was quite loud, but it was quite good, people go, didn't really feel it. But, you know, when you listen to something, you go, wow, that's just, it's got a fresh edge to it, and that's what I liked about it. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like you can't fake the feelings. You know, you gotta write something about your about something that you're passionate about, just like we do. You know, if we don't feel like our song is quite hitting the mark, we're just not gonna release it. You know, and that's what's currently happening. That's what happened in the past as well.
Yep.
During the process of selecting songs for our first EP, we had about 25 demos written, so we had to kind of trim it down to four, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 songs. And then during the second EP, I revisited some of those demos, and I was like, you know, I feel there's something about this demo, but it's not quite there. So, like, Melee Scars, for example, was one of those songs that needed that little extra push.
Yeah. It's
Right.
it's a phenomenal song. It really is. It's just a phenomenal
Thank
song.
you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm really thrilled to hear that people like yourself reacting so positively to it, and you know, it means such a great deal to us and to me personally, because I've been with this song. I've been married to this song for like literally 12 years or like 13 years. We started writing it back in 2007. You know, there was this little synth,
We
and then
as not a major
we
moment.
as not a major moment, because major moment has only been together for like 2 years. You know,
Yeah.
only been a thing for 2 years, even less than that. But you know, I've been with this song forever. You know, and I always wanted to release it, and I always thought that would be such a shame to not let everybody else hear this
Yeah.
song. You know,
Yeah.
but I obviously could not release it as a, you know, as a demo on my own, because it would totally flop. You know, it needed some extra work.
Yeah, what you're saying is you needed the other 5 guys to make it better for you. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. It did require some teamwork. It
Yeah.
did require more than one person, more than 2 people to be a part of it, to
Yeah.
bring something else to the table. You know, we appreciated all the ideas that were going in the studio. You know, there was a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of no and a lot of yes
Yeah.
answers, you know, so
Oh yeah,
there-
it's such a creative process in the studio, and I love it.
yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
You know, when you bring something up for criticism, something that, especially like if like in my case, I've been attached to for such a long time, you know, it
Yeah.
obviously means something to me already as it is, you know. But you know, with Kevin, our producer, we totally trust him, and we absolutely know that he's gonna take this, and maybe he's gonna break it apart, but then he's gonna build it back up to where it's even better.
Right.
Yeah, to where it
We're
to where-
definitely
yeah.
Yeah,
definitely on the same page as where it should go, like what direction it should go,
Yeah.
musically and lyrically.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And one of the songs that we actually tried making a part of our previous EP, the sequel, that Melee Scars is a part of. There was supposed to be one other song there as well, but he didn't feel great about it. I was kind of, he's right, you know, like there's something missing there, you know. So I took it as a challenge this year to basically do what he did to our other records, you know, to our other songs, to a
Yeah.
certain extent, more or less. I would just break it all down, you know, and start building it back up, leaving just the elements that I thought were working well, and removing all the elements that were not working that
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And we basically built up the song back to it's like it's
Yeah.
unrecognizable right now.
Completely.
It's a completely different song. There's
Rework.
one line that's left out of the whole song that was there. There's one line left, and like it's not even like a main line. It's not even a lot. It's something that people would never guess. It's like it would be
It's
my
subline- Yeah, subline somewhere. Yeah, of course.
yeah. It's absolutely like I don't even know why it's there, you know. But it made sense on the other
Yeah.
hand, and the vocal melody is different. Instrumentation is different. There are some synths left that I felt great about leaving,
Right.
but the style of the vocals are totally different. Like the mood of the song is totally different.
So what you're saying is Sasha's not been made redundant yet with a synth playing yet. No. So
We actually approached songwriting quite differently this time around.
Right. This
Uh,
is the first time we wrote the song together, one of them, and then we collaborated more on that, on the songwriting, and one of the songs I also did some instrumentation.
Well, I would go further than that. You didn't just do some instrumentation. So the way it worked before is I would just lock myself up in the room and I would write a demo or something, and then I would come up with lyrics because I felt a little bit insecure about myself and about my writing, I guess. So it would be a good idea. That's what I thought, that the song would be at a certain point of completion.
Right.
It had to be at a certain level before it was introduced to everybody else. This time around, on one of the songs that we are gonna release next, called "The Flood," me and Sasha sat down and we worked.
We closed ourselves in
we
the
closed
room.
ourselves right in the room, and we sat down and we wrote the whole lyrics basically in one sitting, I think.
Right. Yeah.
It was great. Cool. And then we were shooting ideas off of each other, and I really enjoyed that process because it reminded me a lot of what we were doing in the studio with Kevin.
So what you're basically saying is the love of a good woman made you change your mind on
absolutely
how to do the song. Because you've got to look at that. You've got to look at what the women bring to the music and stuff. So you can't take all the credit. So obviously,
I think that's how it's all started. He was really against of having any family members in the band in the first place.
Right. Absolutely.
So yeah, it's gonna naturally happen that I was brought to the table and
to the stage. To the stage. Right.
Yeah.
With your fresh ideas and your new outlook. That's what you're saying, Sasha. You brought something to the table that obviously Andre didn't think was there. So obviously that's good.
I knew it was there. I just didn't want the side effects of that. I didn't want all the arguing and all of this stuff to kind of spoil our personal relationship, because I've been in businesses before. I've built some businesses from ground up. I continued working in some businesses. So I think it's crucial, to separate the business side of things from the personal side of things. So we can disagree all we want on some business aspects, but it has to be kind of a respectful disagreement as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think it's working very well.
It's working very well right now. I'm being a little harsh on Sasha right now. I'm feeling like I can say I have a little more experience, which I do have, just a little though. Just a little to give her a lot of crap.
Take that with a pinch of salt and say, yes, Andrew, you're right. You have a little bit more experience, but not a lot.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
So this
you
time.
nailed it.
This time around, though, one of the other songs that we're gonna release the last. This is a fun one. So we originally agreed on going to the studio to record 3 songs, and then we completely blew the due date on those songs. So we were supposed to be in the studio by April of last year, and then it comes October, and we're like, hello, we don't have any songs. Yeah. What is going on? What are we gonna do? Well, I think the first idea I started writing, we started writing the Flood song. We started writing around summertime, but it still took us a little bit to get it where we wanted it to be. Yeah. And then the second song we sat on forever. We sat on for 2 months, and we couldn't make it work for some reason. And then it all happened. And then the third song went relatively smooth. So we had literally 2 days before the studio, and I was texting Kevin, hey, that's gonna sound like a craziest idea ever, but I think we're gonna try to write the 4th song, and then we did.
Yeah, go for it.
Right, and he's like, yeah, sure, see if it works.
He also laughed the same way as you did right now.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. And then I had a little bit of a bass rhythm going on in the verse, and I literally had a line written, and that's all we had. And then I was going to work, and I said, Sasha, well, now it's your responsibility. You better come up with the chorus. And so she sat down one night. I came back home and she played it to me. I'm like, not quite there, not quite there. Work on it more. And then the second night I'm coming back and she played it to me. I'm like, okay, we can get it there. Now I hear it. We can get it there. And she came up with a great chorus. And when we sent it to Kevin, he's like, that's the best song you've ever brought me, guys. Like, what's wrong with you?
That was amazing.
What happened? It was
yeah.
like, in 2 days it was written.
Saying, where's Sasha been all your life? She's bringing
Exactly.
good stuff to the band. What's happening?
Right. I'm very happy with the way the song came out, and I think a lot of our listeners are up for a surprise.
Well,
That's all I'm gonna say.
I think the thing is that when you have, got some songs out and, and people are anxious to get some new stuff and hoping to see you on the road and it's not happening at the moment, I think there's the element of surprise when you come out with a curveball or a grittier sound or or maybe a low tempo. People think, wow, that's amazing, because, they're expecting one thread and then you guys come up with something totally different and they think, wow, that's amazing. That was the same for me. I was listening to your song and I'm thinking it's a fantastic song.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
And how it's written, and the composition, it's just amazing. And as I say, I listen to thousands of songs, and there's some that come at you and you go, wow, that's amazing. It's just, or a certain song on an album, you think, well, that stood out for me because of how it was arranged, the composition, a bit of lyrics in it. I'm a bit of a lyric man. I like some lyrics. My wife will say to me, how can you relate to that song? I'm thinking, you're not listening to the lyrics. And she's like, no, and I think it's different, when someone goes, listen, and I sing it back to you and she'll go, all right, yeah, I get it now, because she's not really listening to the lyrics.
Right.
The lyrics, she's listening to the song.
I was the same way, by the way.
We're the same way. We're the same way right now. But you're saying you were the same way,
Yeah,
right? You weren't listening to the lyrics all that much.
No, just when I started writing lyrics.
Okay.
Now I'm listening to that.
All right, you better be. Right.
I know.
Yeah, we're the same way right now. We're in the camp where it's as important to write the musical component of it as the lyrical component. We think it all blends together as 50-50, and then that's when the magic happens.
Of course. And what about the rest of the guys? Do they pitch in? Are they happy for you guys to do most of the lyric and the musical content, or do they have a say in, like you guys have said to Kevin, what about this? And he goes, no, it's not working. And do you go away and say to the guys, look, this is not flowing properly, we need to tweak? Or do they say, leave it up to you two, or leave it up to you, Andrew, you can sort it out? Or is it a whole piece where everybody sits and goes, let's pick it apart and let's put it back together? Is it something?
Right. I think it depends on the situation. With a lot of our songs that we already released, it was somebody would bring something to the table, and then it doesn't matter. Like, Kevin does not discriminate. Like he will tell you this is not working, no matter how much he likes you. So and then again, he's open to new ideas. Like with this batch of songs, it was a little bit different. The majority of work was done by Sasha, myself, and Kevin, and also Jake, who helped us on the drums. Yeah. Did an amazing job. And what was different about this batch of songs is, since this whole pandemic unfolded, right? It was not an option to go back into the studio and add some parts, like if we wanted to. So we were sitting home and like we were already in the mixing stage, and me and Sasha, we came up with a couple new ideas we wanted to try. So I texted Kevin, like, okay, so here's what we needed, and then here's an option B. And I was 100% sure that he's not gonna even consider option B, because it's there, it's done. Like, he already spent his time on it. Like, why, right? Like, why are you trying to change something, right?
Yeah, of course.
But then he texted back, I think I like option B better. I'm like, what?
Wow. Yeah.
really? I'm like, he's like, yeah.
I've opened another can of worms here, and I shouldn't have done that. But obviously, he's heard something, or he listened to something that he thought was probably better than what you had.
Right. And I'm all about options. Actually, I like to come up with different, different options for everybody to consider.
That just proves that we're working with the right person.
Right, and I'm always like second guessing my first choices as well, and then I'm second guessing my second choices
It's always
as
maybe
well. So it's like
Sasha there and Kevin to then say to you, don't think about second guessing, because I think it's always nice that you have another idea. You know,
what worked for me is like Sasha and Kevin kind of playing a role of devil's advocate. So it's like I'm just throwing it out there, and then I want to either hear definitely yes or a definite no. Way, this is not happening. So then I'm absolutely sure that we're in the right, we're on the right page, on the same page for sure.
Yeah. So what's next for you guys? Is it just waiting to see what the pandemic does, the dynamics of getting back to the studio, or laying down tracks, or getting out on the road? Are you just?
We're definitely gonna start writing new songs
as soon as possible.
As soon as possible. As soon as we're done with those 4, we're gonna release the first one, and then over a couple of months, we're gonna release other songs. We're also planning to do a live chat or some kind of
a live stream with our fans.
That would be fun.
Yeah, hopefully, by then the pandemic is kind of going away, and we can invite other guys here to do more or less like a full band set. At least here, maybe in the rehearsal space, maybe in the studio, maybe we'll all drive to Halo Studio and record the live session there.
Yeah.
We actually were so lucky to record that TV performance that we posted. That's a week ago.
Yeah, it was like.
And it was also days before the pandemic unfolded, and we were like, oh. Right timing.
Yeah, and I think it's nice to get something out, because a lot of bands think, oh, people may forget us, they think that we're not doing anything, and I think.
Well, exactly, and now we have live performance to post and kind of like introduce ourselves.
Yeah, the live streams are great because a lot of people, it resonates with a lot of people because you see a gig and then you think, wow, it was 6 months since I saw Major Moments. So. What are we doing? And then you pop up and go, we're doing a live stream. And people go, that's really good because it's really popular. People, they just want to get back into, your groove and what you're doing so they don't forget it, And
right.
When they put it on, Facebook, I've done about 8 or 10 over the last 6 weeks, and maybe 1,000 people, 1,500 people, and what you get from the bands is that they're saying, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate your support. We're trying to do new music because I think that, it's not only us, the fans, who are feeling a bit, like licking our wounds because we can't get to a gig. You guys get out and perform. You guys have spent months in the studio, or months in your bedrooms, with your pen and your paper, writing lyrics and stuff, and you can't get it out there. So it must be frustrating for you guys.
Yeah.
It is frustrating, I guess we were kind of lucky that we were in this, recording stage. When all of this happened, right? So we did not plan like a 6-week tour. That would be
Thank God,
that would be really bad. But some people did. So I'm really sorry to see all the posts. Some people had to spend months and months planning, and a lot of money and a lot of time is wasted. And now it's going to be wasted on rescheduling, which may or may not even happen this year. So who knows? But I was just watching a recording of a live stream earlier this morning. Actually, Post Malone, out of all people, I don't know if you know about this or not, but he got together with Travis Barker from Blink-182,
Yeah.
and a couple other guys that I guess are in regular Post Malone's band. So they did a whole an hour and 15-minute tribute to Nirvana in his house, at his house.
What?
And like he slayed it. He was like it was brilliant. It was so good. Like I couldn't get enough of it, you know. Guys played their souls out. They got support from you know, Courtney Love. They got support from Chris Novoselic. They got, you know, and they did such a great job. And fans all over the world, rock fans, I'm sure like they're gonna start asking Posty to do a rock record after that, for sure.
Absolutely, you know, absolutely. I think, you know,
We're out for that.
when someone just pops up and says, "I'm going to do this," people sit up and take notice, you know, and they get excited about stuff like that, you know, that happens on the cuff, and people are like, "Wow, that's amazing!" To come up with that idea and just invite a couple of friends and bang it out, you know, and people just go, "Why don't you do something else? Why don't you look at this and, you know, look at that?" And it's amazing, you know. And I think, you know, at the moment the live streams and the videos are the way to go, you know.
Right.
So maybe that's something you guys should be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking forward to that. We're gonna try to I guess rearrange some songs, some older songs, some newer songs, so we can at least like perform them between the two of us. Because right now we're all in different like states and different parts of the state. Getting together is not exactly the best option right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully at some point in the future we can still do like a full band thing. But we're actively working on that.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. Any plans on coming to Britain? Have you anything in the pipeline?
We'd love to. We'd love to. Yeah, but it all depends on the demand, you know, just like everything else, you know. And it's not about the money. We don't need, you know, we're not asking for money. We don't need much to get by.
It'd be really good. Come and play for free. Don't worry about the money.
You know, as long as we can afford it, as long as we can afford the coming part, at least, you know, the expenses, and to break even, I'm all up for it, you know. I'm not looking to profit off of it, you know. If it happens, great, as long as we're not losing a whole bunch of money, you know. But you know, if fans keep asking us to come to Britain, if they spread the word around, if they invite their relatives, friends and family to our gig, if it becomes a possibility that it would be a successful gig, definitely we can come as soon as possible, as soon as they open up.
I miss Europe very much. Very much.
Yeah, definitely. Still to go around and tour in Europe. It's just, you know, there's so many different, you know, genres of people who just like to hear different styles of music.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I wonder if this band can come to France, Italy, Germany, because they'd be really cool here. Because, you know, lots of countries think, that genre would really fit in our country, you know, and stuff like that. Which is the Scottish rock scene and the British rock scene is really strong at the moment.
Absolutely.
You know, lots of bands coming through. There's lots of bands, new bands coming up, you know, and things like this. And we get, you know, I'll get a ping from this all happened through a company called Stencil PR, who Stencil asked me to do your review, and then if you'd be looking to do an interview. And I said, absolutely, no problem. You know, I love talking to new people. I love getting your ideas. I love, you know, putting my spin on it. You know, we've been talking for 35 minutes and it seems only like 10 minutes.
Yeah, likewise.
Wow,
yeah,
really?
absolutely. Yeah.
You know, sometimes you're conscious of spending too much time with guys. You know, and sometimes I don't know your schedule and I'm thinking, I just want to keep talking to you all day. Because, you know,
what else do we have to do?
Yeah, exactly. We're in lockdown as well.
A glass of wine. It's 18 degrees outside. Life is good, you know, and it's nice to end, you know, your day on a nice interview with a couple of nice people who just want to get, you know, the views across on music and get themselves heard, you know, and kind of what they've got planned. And I think that's nice as well, because lots of people don't know your situation, you don't know what you've got in the pipeline, and don't know what you're going to do next. You know, you've given me a couple of snippets about the flood. I'll keep that to myself. You know, I won't tell anyone. So don't you worry. Secret safe with me. When you record the record, send it to Darren at JS Media, and I'll plug the hell out of it for you. So that's
Yay.
I'm giving you something
Deal.
back.
I actually have a good idea about how we can come to Britain and play a couple shows, and come to Europe to play a couple shows. We actually had a much better response to our songs coming from Europe and UK and Australia than from the US. For some reason, I have no idea why is that, but
I guess what it is, Andrew. I guess it's like the European sound. You know what? I think you've got your Americans. You know, you've got your Green Days, your Blink-182s, your Foo Fighters, who go the same. It's the same vein and the same genre. When you go to Europe, different sound. It's a different. The facts laid down differently. People just they just get into it. Because it's a band coming from America that people don't really know a lot about, and they hear the song and they go, Jesus, that's a really good song. And then they ask the question what they're all about. And as I said back at the start, what I'm really blessed with is that I get to hear lots of new, different music. And I think, wow, that's a really good song, or that's a really good album, or I wonder if they're coming to Britain or Scotland, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And to get, and what I do is I go to a gig and I get an interview, and I put it onto my website, and it gets 1,000 hits, 2,000 hits, 5,000 hits.
Yeah.
I did a review for a band from South Korea.
Wow.
And it got 1.2 million hits.
Wow.
That's amazing.
From their fan base, they have 1.2 million fans, and you're thinking that's crazy. But it's
that's
just awesome. they like that style of music. So I think that's the difference between American music and coming to Europe.
Yeah,
people,
definitely. Right.
You do.
And it's exactly for that reason we would love to come play the UK, play all over Europe. So one of our favorite bands at the moment is Bring Me the Horizon, which is from England as well.
Yes.
So if you know the guys, they can ask them to bring us on tour, and we're golden.
My boss will probably know them, but I used to work for a production company who bring bands from all over Europe. They recently brought Angel from America to Britain. Graham Bonnet. They've brought Jeff Tate. They've brought these guys. I will put, if you get me some music, I will put that to these guys, because they just like to bring new bands to Britain, and get them out there. So get me some stuff.
You got it.
I'll put it to my
easily.
And then we can go, because I think for me, what resonates when you talk to you guys, you get an instant attraction, and you go, I really these people, I dig what they're all about, and I would love to see you come to Britain, So get me some stuff, and we'll try and make it happen.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's make it happen.
Now we have something to look forward to.
Exactly.
my boss or one of the PR guys will probably know Bring Me the Horizon, because they're obviously a real big band. So I'll put the feelers out, and then obviously we'll see what we can come up with.
Sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
So what's the plans for the rest of the day? What are you doing today? We're gonna go to work, believe it or not. We gotta pay the bills, pay for pay to play at the moment. To get our music out there. It's a lot of money spent on advertisements, a lot of money spent on promotion. There's huge expenses connected to the upcoming releases as well. We're already working on album artwork. We're already working on lyric videos. We're already working on music videos. A lot of money. So we got to pay the bills. We got to drive some pizzas around tonight. Get the food on people's tables safely, and so we can get food on our own table as well. And making some money. And get
Of course.
Yeah.
Excellent. listen, it's been really good talking to you. I really appreciate your time. You know, as I say, I had millions of stuff, but you know that way when you get into a thread of chatting about things, you know, it goes out the window because you know you've got your you've got your generalization of what you need to talk about. You know, I've got written loads of stuff down, but you know your nomination thing is fantastic. You know, it's a real big, you know, for a band going 2 years, it's a phenomenal achievement. You know, for you guys. You know, and I wish you every success. You know,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
I say you can send stuff to me, Darren at jacemedia.co.uk.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Get stuff. I will share it because what I'd like to do is to say my boss will, if you get anything coming in and I'll say, oh yeah, this is coming up, and we put it on and we share it out and everybody gets to hear it, you know, and it's a really good thing. So I will do that if you can get me some stuff.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys.
Thank you
so much.
You're absolutely welcome. It's been a great pleasure, and hopefully we can do it again in the near future.
Absolutely, anytime.
When things hopefully get better in these better times. And I wish you every success with the 4 singles. I'll keep the first one under my hat so no one knows about it. Flood, it's written down so no one knows.
All right.
We're gonna send it to you for a review for sure, and we know that you're gonna love it. And if you don't, feel free to say it. You know, we're absolutely open to all sorts of criticism.
Because if I'm face to face, you might give me a pasting if I tell you your music. So I can't do that. But anyway, guys, pleasure to talk to you. Stay safe.
Thank you so much.
Have a great night. Have a great evening. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.